Shalom Akim. This is Yahba Tazah here in San Angelo, Texas. I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahba Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. Much love and respect to you brothers out there doing the work in sincerity and truth. I want to go ahead and just jump into a lesson regarding the Northern Kingdom, how they are basically consumed with idol worship. All right, what says the image of who the world called Jesus Christ, Jesus Cristo. All right, Santa Guadalupe, Santa Maria, and all these dead saints, and them burning the candles of incense. All right, and how they wear, they're joined to the idols. As I'm gonna bring out in Hosea chapter 4:17. They wear their medallions. They get Caesar Borgia tattooed on their arms. Their flesh. All right, that's basically what I want to speak on. We're coming into these holidays, Christmas and things of that nature, and not only that, just on a daily basis. Issachar, so-called Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, which Ephraim is the head tribe. All right, Ephraim is the head tribe of the Northern Kingdom. Aparium or Aparium, all right, which means fruitful. I am fruitful. All right, which is the so-called Puerto Ricans. But all the Northern Kingdom, the Northern tribes, man, they're joined unto idols, man, and they're heavily into it, and to be into idol worship, man, that's a strong demonic force, and it only Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, who you ignorantly call Jesus Cristo or Jesus Christ. Yahweh Shai had, through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, he has to deal with you and to break that stronghold. All right, because to be in that type of worship is you're worshiping demons, man. It's demonic. All right, the rosary beads, you bowing down to these images. All right, Jesus, Caesar Borgia, which the Bible talks about all these things that I'm about to speak about. It's probably gonna be a little lesson, but I'm reaching out mainly towards the so-called Mexicans, all right, you Latin tribes, all right, you Ephraimites, you Puerto Ricans, all right, so forth and so on out of the Northern Kingdom, all right, Colombians, all right, Venezuelans, all right, Panamanians, no matter what part of Mexico you at, you're Israelites, all right. So that's what I'm gonna jump into. Okay, this is the Hosea chapter 4 verse 17. It says Ephraim is joined unto idols. All right, it's the Hosea chapter 4 verse 17 right here. It says Ephraim is joined to idols. Right. So like I was saying earlier, in the book of Deuteronomy, it tells you that Ephraim is the head tribe. Okay, and it says he is joined to idols, let him alone. Right, and we look up that word join, which is kabar. All right, it says to unite, join, bind together, be joined, be coupled, be in a league, heap up, have fellowship with, be compact, be a charmer. So basically, you Latino tribes, man, you so-called Mexicans, all right, you Ephraimites, Puerto Ricans, all right, you are entwined with this demonic force, man. So you have to seek out the mercies from Yahweh Shai to break them bonds, man. And ultimately, it all starts in the spiritually, and the scriptures say that how they should believe if a preacher is sin unto them. So you have the men on the highways and the hedges, starting with GMS, Great Millstone, with the Elder Tahar all the way down. Those brothers are gonna exercise that for you, man. We're gonna stir up your spirit and exercise them demons and break up them that hard ground, so to speak, in your mind, man, for you to start realizing and coming to the truth. All right, to see, break that spell away from you, to know that, hey, you got to get away from these idols, man, because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is about to return. Okay, but y'all, that's what that word join means to me, to unite, to be entwined, to be compact, to have fellowship with. So you're at league with demons, man. All right, so you got to let that go, man. And let me go back. Okay, so basically that's what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Is Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone. you know. So we're coming into the last days, you know, and calling out, you know what I'm saying, sounding the trumpet. You know, the Yahweh Shai said, show my people their transgressions. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta break away from them things, man. Because them idols, man, they're gonna get they're gonna get you destroyed. Okay? Next scripture I want to get, to the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Hope this is edifying. Hope it, you know, it helps out some of those that are in seeking out truth. All right, because it's all through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that these things that we speak about and hope, all right, is that you're gonna be released, you know, from this spell that Esau has put upon you, because that's who really brought this that false image of Cesar Borgia, Jesus Cristo. The image was Esau, man, and he brought it to the Native American Indians to basically cast a spell and bring them unto subjection. Okay, and the Bible speaks about it. Let's go ahead and bring out 2 Corinthians chapter 10, and I'll start at verse 3. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh." Right? Because according to Ephesians, in the book of Ephesians, let me go ahead and bring it out right here from my sword. All right, it tells you that we don't war at the flesh and blood. All right. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Ephesians chapter 6. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Right. So that's what's going on. These idol worships, man, has been embedded in your mind, and for you to look at that image that's physically present in front of you, to give that image honor or reverence. All right. But that's what it is. It's not that we don't wrestle against the flesh or the, you know, flesh and bloods, but against spiritual things. All right, evil, wicked things. So that's through all the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is why I'm bringing out 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 3. It says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and everything that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Yahweh Shai Mashiach." And basically, you know, and those are the strongholds, and casting down imaginations, because that's where it originally began, is in the mind. That's the beginning of spiritual fornication, which I'm going to bring out. So everything always begins in the spiritual, and it manifests itself in the physical. All right, when somebody thinks about something, he imagines, like an artist, like someone that has that's creative and designs, whether it be like clothes or shoes or furniture. It all starts in the mind, man. They get this they imagine, and they started, you know, breaking down things in their mind, how it can make it better, and then they ultimately they design it with their hands. All right. So it says so basically everything that every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of the Lord, right? Because the Lord said he was against idol worship. All right, so this is all through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that the Lord will use us brothers to break down that stronghold that you Latin tribes are heavily into, man. That witchcraft, man. That spell. All right, that Queen of Heaven, you know, Santa Maria. You got that Jesus Cristo image, which is nothing but a man that was born during the Renaissance period. All right, Cesar Borgia. He was set up to be the image of the Lord, which is predicted, spoken of in the scriptures. But the Bible depicts him otherwise, not a white baby, not no white man with, you know, long string baby, dog-like hair or baby blue eyes. All right, so this through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Lord will, it'll wake some of you up. All right, I guess the first scripture I want to start with, go ahead and start jumping into it, is in the book of Job. All right, just get that real quick. So like, you can bear with me, man. See, I believe that's it. No. So like, give me 1 second. Let's see right here. There it is. All right. Job chapter 9 and verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right. So, starting from the beginning of the Renaissance period, a particular a group of people were being given power. All right, and then which is the so-called white man, the Caucasians, the European man. All right, which when he came over here from the from Europe to the Americas, all right, the land where the Native American Indians were the indigenous people of this land from Canada all the way down to South America and the islands, they brought that image with them. All right, when they changed up the image, the color of the image, they what they call iconoclasm. They went and destroyed all the images and made them into their own likeness. All right, so that's what he brought. He brought that image, who the world called Jesus Christ, which really was a man that was set up, named Caesar Borgia. All right, which was Alexander VI, the Pope's son. He set up to portray Jesus Christ. Okay, so basically what it's saying in Job 9 and 24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So the wicked are in rulership right now, and they're going to do as they will. All right, to deceive the nations. All right, because he had but a short time, which is in Revelation chapter 12 and 12. All right, so he says he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. Right, so who is one of the judges? Is Yahweh's son, Yahweh, who y'all call Jesus Christ. He's the one is going to bring a judgment upon this wicked kingdom, man. All right, he's a judge. Can y'all agree with that, you so-called Mexicans? Can you agree with that, you so-called Puerto Ricans, that Yahweh, the Father's Son, is a judge? All right, can you agree with that? So he says that this man on the earth, this wicked man, is going to cover the faces of the judges thereof. Okay, it says, if not, where and who is he? So if it ain't the so-called white man that did these things, who is he then? Who's doing it? Because the Bible tells you otherwise. The Bible gives you a depiction on how Yahweh Shai look like, and the men of the Lord, the prophets, they were all of color. Okay, now I'm gonna go to. Let's get into it now. This is see where I want to start at. Let's go ahead and go. I'm gonna go into the Apocrypha. I'm gonna start at Maccabees. All right, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. First Maccabees chapter 3, and we'll start at verse 46. Wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves, right? Because that's what you Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, y'all are Israelites. All right, you're not no Mexican, you're not no Latino, you're not no Hispanic. All right, you're not no Chicano. All right, you're not no wetback, spick. You're not none of those things, man. You're a Hebrew Israelites. Okay, it says, wherefore the Israelites assembled themselves together and came to Masphah over against Jerusalem. For in Masphah was a place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fasted that day and put on sackcloth and cast ashes upon their heads and went there and rent their clothes. The word rent is to rip, tear apart. And laid open the book of the law, right? They laid open the book of the law, right? Wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. See, so during this time of the Maccabees, when Antiochus Epiphanes was going through after Alexander the Greek, basically conquered all that part of that world, and his kingdom was divided into the 4 generals. They were doing that at that time too. They were trying to change the likeness, as it says in the scriptures right here. It says, verse 48, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. All right, so it has always been in their mind, these heathens, these Edomites, to do this deception, this craftiness. All right, to get you to go off, to get you worshiping angels, to get you worshiping the dead. All right, idols that are designed by a man's hand, all right, which is nothing but uh, clay, man, which you can get it and bash it against the wall, and that's it. It ain't gonna bring itself back together. The Bible talks about all that. You know. So next scripture I want to bring out, go back to Wisdom of Solomon. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, and start at verse 8. It says, "But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it and he that made it." Right. So that man is cursed because that man is coming in great craftiness and deception and is trying to deceive the people. And there's an account of in the book of Acts chapter 19 where Paul went into Ephesus, all right, in the land of Asia, all right, Asia Minor, in Ephesus. It says that he encountered a man named Demetrius that was making silver shrines to the goddess Diana, which is basically goddess Diana. She is Semiramis, man. Okay, and you can look into it about this is in Acts chapter 19. But basically, they were that's how they made their profit, their money off the people, is by making these idols, man, these images to the goddess Diana. All right, like it says in Acts chapter 19 verse 25, it says, "Whom he had called together." Let's talk about Demetrius calling all the other the artificers to the artificers are the ones that create these images. All right, it says verse 25, "Whom he called together with the workmen of like occupation," right? Because he had called other men that were of the same occupation as he was, and he said, "Sirs, ye know that by this craft we have our wealth." You see, so that man is corrupt, man, because they don't give a shit about the people. There's word about making a dollar. You know what I'm saying? But Yahweh Shem Yahushai, the men of the Lord, care about the flock. All right, the elect. So that's who we're drawing and fishing for right now, man. We're not fishing for everybody. But as it says in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 14 verse 8, "But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it and he that made it." He because he made it, and it because being corruptible, it was called a god. Right? And that's what's going to get into about the whole image, man. The image of that people portray as being Jesus Christ, or the Savior, the Messiah, HaMashiach. All right, you got the Last Supper with the Caesar Borgia and the so-called apostles. They're all white, man. They're all been likened unto the heathen. They're like white, Edomites. Okay, but it says in verse 9, "For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto the Most High." Okay, verse 10, "For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it." Right, so the man that set up this false image, this false god, is going to be destroyed, man, which is Esau, the so-called white man. All right, it says verse 11, "Therefore even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation." See, so Yahweh Shem Yahushai is remembering these things, and he knows those that worship idols. You Latin tribe, you so-called Mexicans, man, you into these worshiping these idols, and you get all pissed off when somebody tries to talk down about Jesus Cristo and stomps on his white image. Hey, man, you need to really check yourself, man. You need to really research. All right, because that's a heavy spirit that's upon the Northern Kingdom, man. It's a real demonic spirit that got you people bugging out for a dumbass fucking picture, man. All right, for a Last Supper image, man. For a Santa Maria image. All right, for a tattoo you got on your body of a so-called white man. Okay, which the true identity of Yahweh, or the Father's Son, was the so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, man. All right, it says in verse Wisdom of Solomon 14 and 11, "Therefore even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of Yahweh they are become an abomination, and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise. You see? Those that are into idol worship, you're unwise, man, and it's a stumbling block to you. And that stumbling block, and to be in that mind frame of stupidity, all right, of ignorance, is going to get you destroyed. Verse 12. And hey, don't be mad at us, the apostles. You know, I'm not talking about myself. I'm talking about the apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. Don't be mad at them because they tell you the truth, man. Don't be mad at me because we tell you the truth. We're trying to draw in the elect. We're just telling you what it is. Don't be mad at us. Be mad at him. Be mad at Esau, man. All right. Verse 12, it says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication, and the invention of them the corruption of life. So this is what got all you Latino Latin tribes, man, all jacked up, man. Okay, bugged out because you got them demons on you, man. And you wonder why, and you ask why, not realizing that you probably got that damn image standing right there in the middle of your room against the wall, decorated with candles all around it. You know? Hey, man, that's going to get you destroyed, man. That's inviting demonic spirits into your home, because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is not with that program, man. He's not down for that. Okay? It says, for the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication. Right? Because everything starts in the spirit. And the invention of them, the corruption of life. For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world, and therefore shall they come shortly to an end. For a father, this is where it starts getting into the image of Caesar Borgia, you know, the image of Jesus Christ. Verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child soon taken away, now honored him as a god. Now, like I said, during the time of the Renaissance, you had a man named Alexander VI the Pope. They were the Borgia family. All right, he was a Catholic. All right, he was the Pope, Alexander VI the Pope. He set up his son, Caesar Borgia. All right, as it says right here. And he set up his son Caesar Borgia to play the image of Jesus Christ. It says, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, because Caesar Borgia, he died. He didn't resurrect. He didn't come up. You know, as it's spoken of in the Gospels, where the apostles were there, when the eyewitnesses that saw Yahweh Shai, who the world called Jesus Christ, ascend into the heavens. All right, in Acts chapter 1. That's not the same Jesus, man. All right. It says, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Right, and that's what y'all Latino tribes do, man. Y'all deliver ceremonies and sacrifices on his behalf. Y'all crawl on y'all's knees. Y'all afflict yourselves, you know, for these dead saints, these idols. Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, they never said for you to do that, man. Matter of fact, they forbid that, which I'm going to get in that. Verse 16 says, thus in process of time an ungodly custom grown strong and was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings, man, whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his visage. The word visage is meaning his countenance, his appearance, from far, and made an express image of a king whom they honored, to the end that by their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent, as he went present. Right, it says, so as also the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition. And man, that's true, because Issachar, you so-called Mexicans, man, y'all are very superstitious, man. Very superstitious, man. And that's because this witch Esau, and even your grandmothers, your moms, your fathers, you know, they have heavy demons on them, man. And they continue to push that demonic vibe on you even more and more, and make you even more superstitious. All right, make you even more paranoid and things that you don't understand. Which, when you come into the truth, you understand things clear. You know what I'm saying? You know what, you don't really have that much to fear at the end, man. The only one you're gonna fear is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. He's the only one that you should be fearing. Nothing else. Not your mom, your dad, not these idols. You know? It says, right, that's it on that. I'm going to go ahead and get into, real quick, just to prove about the idol worships as being as the Gentiles. All right. Go back over here. Back into the blue letter. Okay. Let's go ahead and get 1 Corinthians. First Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1. Start at verse 1. All right. It says, "Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. You know that you were Gentiles carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led." Right. So Paul is getting into spiritual things, man, because it has nothing to do with no physical. All right. It has everything to do with the spiritual. All right. And he knew that Israel was carried away with these dumb idols, man. All right. Verse 3. "Therefore I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Spirit of Yahweh calleth Yahweh Shai accursed, and that no man can say that Yahweh Shai is the Lord but by the Holy Spirit." Right. So everything has to be done in the Spirit. Okay. To follow Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, the true power of the heavens and the earth, you got to follow him in spirit. Okay. And stop believing in these dumb idols. Stop fearing man. Stop fearing carnal things, man. Okay. Next scripture I want to get from that is in the book of John. Okay. John chapter 4, and start at verse 22. It says, "You worship you know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews." Right. And like I said, you Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians, so-called Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Seminole Indians, you know, Native American Indians, y'all are Israelites, man. All right. The word Jew comes from the word Judah, which Judah is Yahweh, which means thank the Most High. All right. But you know not what you worship, man. So that's why we're out here making these videos telling you, you so-called Mexicans, all right, that you are going off, man. All right. And it's time to come back to your true heritage and worship the Lord in spirit and in truth, which is I'm going to get into. Verse 23. "But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth." Right. So you worship these idols, but now it's time to turn away from that and worship the Father. Right. Like it says, shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, man. So you got to be spiritual, and you got to worship him in spirit. All right. And that's the only way you can acknowledge Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, is if the Holy Spirit moves you and the Spirit is dealing with you. That's why Paul was getting into those spiritual gifts. All right. Because these damn idols are not gifts. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is willing to give you gifts, spiritual gifts, but then you're over here giving your gifts to these damn idols, man. Sacrificing all kinds of things, giving up all kinds of things for these dumb idols that can't speak or hear. What are they doing for you? Nothing, but they're just continue bugging you out in your minds, man. But it says in John chapter 4, I'm gonna start at 23 again. "But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. Yahweh is a spirit, And they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. So you got to be spiritual, not carnal minded, man. All right. Stop seeing with your eyes. Start using start getting into this word, man. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai activate your pineal gland and reveal mysteries and endow you with spiritual understanding, man. Wisdom. Okay. Now, next scripture I want to bring out, it's gonna be Deuteronomy. Go on to Deuteronomy. All right. Chapter 4. It's chapter 4, Deuteronomy chapter 4. Start at verse 16. It says, now this is getting into the commandments, all right, and going into idol worships, man. All right. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 16. Let me see. Let me start up. Let me see. Let's start at Deuteronomy 4 and 11. And you came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire unto the midst of heaven, with darkness, clouds, and thick darkness. And Yahweh spoke unto you out of the midst of the fire. Ye heard the voice of the words, but saw no similitude, only ye heard a voice. And he declared unto you his covenant, which he commanded to you to perform, even 10 commandments. And he wrote them upon 2 tables of stone. And the Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and judgments that might do them in the land whither you go over to possess it. All right, this is Moses speaking at Mount Sinai when he was given these law, statutes, commandments from Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, verse 15, take ye therefore good heed unto yourselves, for ye saw no manner of similitude on that day that the Lord spake unto you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves and make you a graven image, the similitude of any figure, the likeness of male or female. All right. The likeness of any beast that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged fowl that flieth in the air, the likeness of anything that creepeth on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the waters beneath the earth. And just like you got that fish symbol that supposedly represents Christ. That's a god. That's a deity in itself. That goes back to the god Dagon, all right, which is the Philistines, which is the Canaanites. They worshipped that image, man. It has nothing to do with the Lord, man. That fish symbol. All right. So this is going into worshiping different deities, man. Okay, it can't be simple and just you worshiping dogs and stuff like that. No, it's talking about you're seeking deliverance and protection from these certain symbols that y'all people put on y'all's cars. Y'all put them on y'all's flesh. Y'all tattoo them. That's what Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is telling us right here in these scriptures. All right, it says in verse 19, Deuteronomy 4:19. And lest thou lift up thine eyes unto heaven, and when thou seest the sun and the moon and the stars, even all the host of heaven, shouldest be driven to worship them and serve them, which the Lord thy power had divided unto all nations under the whole heaven. Right, so you're not supposed to be into that. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be worshiping the moon, stars, and astrology. It's like you Latin tribes, man. Y'all are heavy into the horoscopes, man. The zodiac. And Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is against that, man, because that's on the left-hand side. All right, verse 20. But the Lord had taken you and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, even out of Egypt, to be unto him a people of inheritance, as ye are this day. All right, because he delivered us out of the land of Egypt, the house of bondage, man. And everybody knows that the Egyptians, they worshipped all types of gods, man. Okay. They had all types of deities, man. All right. But that continued to follow Israel. Okay. Even to this very day, you got Jake into the Kemetic vibe, and they're into the Hamitic vibe, which is all the same. Ham the Canaanites, the Africans, you know, the Egyptology, you know, they're into all that to this very day. And that's why we're trying to break down those strongholds. Only the elect are going to break out of that. It says Deuteronomy 4:21. It says, furthermore, the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, and swear that I should not go over to Jordan, and that I should not go in unto that good land, which the Lord thy power giveth thee for an inheritance. But I must die in this land, and I must not go over to Jordan, but ye shall go over and possess that good land. Verse 23, take heed unto yourselves, lest ye forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he made you, and made you a graven image, and or any likeness of anything which the Lord thy God hath forbidden thee. So Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, who y'all ignorantly call Jesus Christ, has forbid you to do these things, man. All right. It says, verse 24, for the Lord thy power is a consuming fire, even a jealous power. Right. So he forbids doing these things, man. It's plain and clear in black and white, man. You cannot get around it. All right. Idol worship, to be into idol worship is very demonic, man. Okay. Now I want to go ahead and just end it with, go ahead and bring out Salakia. Okay. Nah, they're not here. Salakia about that. Give me 1 second, man. Had an interruption. Let's go ahead and bring it out, and let's go to Revelations. All right, Revelations 22. All right, in the book of Revelations. Let's see. Revelation chapter 22, verse 14. It says, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, sorcerers, whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Right, so it says, blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right of the tree of life. All right, so you have to obey the commandments that are written, man. That way you may have the right to the tree of life, which is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is able to save your souls, the strength of thy salvation. All right, because without that garment, which is which wisdom, knowledge, and understanding represents that righteousness, the white linen, is what's going to get you into that gate, man. It's going to get you into that wedding. All right, and it's like it says in verse 15, for without are dogs, sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. So when you indulge yourself and you accept these idols, you love lies and you make lies. So you're basically saying, hey, destroy me, man. You're basically saying that you don't give a shit about your life, man. All right, I'm gonna bring it up right here just to show what the word idolater means. All right, all right, it says right here, it says a worshiper of false gods, a idolater, a covetous man, as a worshiper of mammon. All right, so yeah, basically that's what it is, man. You know, right here it says that it, i.e. stands for that is a hireling, servant, slave. So you're a slave and a servant to these idols, man. All right, you're a vessel for these demons to work in you, man. It says a worshiper of false gods, an idolater. All right. It says anyone, even a Christian, participates anyway in the worship of heathens, of the heathen. One who attends their sacrificial feasts and eats of the remains of offered victims. All right, so that's what that is, man. So you're into idol worship, man. That's gonna get you destroyed, man. You gotta cast away those images, man. Even that white image, Cesar Borgia, the Last Supper, all that, man. The cross, all right, it's all pagan, man. It's all heathen That's part of that's the heathen's way, man. Jeremiah chapter 10 tells you to learn not the way of the heathen. All right. I got one more, man. One more, and that's it. This should be the end. This should have been the end right here, but I just want to bring this one out. Colossians chapter 2 and verse 18. It says, "Let no man beguile you of your reward in a voluntary humility and worshiping of angels, intruding into those things which he had not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind." Right. So he's being, these things are carnal, man. So let no man beguile you of your reward in voluntary humility and worshiping of angels, man. You're not supposed to be bowing down to these things. You know what I'm saying? And there's an account in Revelations, I believe it's in Revelations 19. Yeah, it's Revelations 19 and 10. It says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me," this is John the Revelator, all right, one of the apostles, "and he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that had the testimony of Yahweh Shai. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy." Right, so this angel was telling John the Revelator, all right, one of the original apostles, not to worship him, man. So you're not supposed to be bowing down and worshiping to angels, man. Just because they're a higher power doesn't mean that you bow down and worship them like that. You worship Yahweh, well, Yahweh Shai. Okay? So that's it on that, man. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh Shai comes written in the volume of a book. So these words is what you're supposed to be showing reverence and fear to when you read them, man. All right? Which you can't see Yahweh Shai, nor can you see Yahweh, so you got to worship him in spirit and truth. Okay? Not being fearful of these damn stupid idols, man. These dumb idols. Hey, man. Yahweh Shai is going to start showing y'all that y'all's little seals or y'all's little y'all's things that y'all do with these images, these burning these incense and these candles and putting all these different crosses on y'all's bodies and around y'all's necks and the image of Caesar Borgia on y'all's bodies. That's not gonna protect you from the common destruction, man. If anything, it's gonna get you destroyed, man. Unless you fall away from that and you come back into your true mindset and your true worshiping of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, but I want to end it with that, man. Hope it was edifying. But until next time, man. Lord will, get into some other things. But I want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. All right, and all the brothers out there that taught me and continue to feed me. Bless you, brothers. And till next time, man. Shalom, man.